Live, local, late breaking. This is WMBF News at 6.
Coming up tonight on WMBF News at 6, we have team coverage for you on the potentially life-threatening and historic weather threat we're seeing here in the Carolinas. We're looking at the hardest hit areas and how people are preparing for more rainfall and flooding tomorrow. And we also have coverage on the inland counties and how some homeowners are dealing with the waters coming right up to their front doors. WMBF News starts right now. Much for joining us on WMBF News at 6. We have breaking news for you tonight. President Obama has officially declared a state of emergency for our state. He's ordered federal aid to those who have been affected by severe flooding. What this means for South Carolina is that federal aid will go to help with state and local response efforts, including disaster relief help from the Department of Homeland Security and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Officials say the biggest problem areas right now are the low country and the coastal regions.
Charleston area right now is really catching the brunt of it, and that's basically based on the geography. You got the tides affecting it, and with the rainfall, I see probably the next few days probably a little bit worse simply because all the rivers come down out toward that direction.
We've been monitoring this developing weather from the beginning. Our meteorologists and reporters working around the clock to give you the information that you need to stay safe. Let's head over to First Alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst now to get a look at what you can expect in the next few hours here.
And things likely going to remain busy. Now, the good news for today so far is we haven't seen a steady heavy rain. Yeah, we've seen some heavier downpours. Maybe the biggest thing that we've seen today at the high tide earlier this afternoon, we saw some issues with some more coastal flooding. We're likely to see another round of that. High tide tonight around 1 a.m. So the same areas that have seen it here through the last few days, likely going to see another round. Now let's jump out to the rain because we are seeing some of that. In fact, we do have flash flood warnings. And the reason we have these warnings, not that it's raining steady or overly heavy, but any rain we get is likely to cause flooding issues because all the ground is saturated from the rain that we've seen. The heaviest of the rain, though, is just outside of Florence right now, along Interstate 95, making your way into Darlington County. Keep in mind, these areas have already seen a whole lot of rain, so they're likely already seeing some more flooding issues as this rain continues to kind of filter in from the east, likely to stick around here for the next 30 to 45 minutes. And there is a whole lot more moisture to work with. And notice where the heaviest rain is, though, just off to our south. This is going to be our second round of very heavy rain, though, going to lift back to the north as we head towards early tomorrow morning and continuing throughout Sunday. That's going to give us another risk of some more possibly significant flooding as we head throughout Sunday. I'll break down those, let you know how much more rain we can expect coming up. And just know that as we go through the next couple of days, more river flooding likely an issue as well.
Yeah, that river flooding definitely going to be an issue, but not when you think it would be an issue. It's actually going to become more of an issue when we work our way into the middle of the week. That's when most of the rivers around the area are looking to crest. Now, the Great PD River right now sitting about 12.8 feet and, flood stage at 19 feet. And we're expecting this on Wednesday to get to around 25 feet. And by that time on Wednesday, we're expecting farmland flooding, logging operations impacted, as well as some flooding near Britton Neck. And that's what we're going to be expecting on Wednesday for that area. Now, also, some more rivers around the area that we are going to be expecting some flooding is going to be the Lynches River and also the Waccamaw River at Conway, currently sitting at 9.9 feet. 11 feet is flood stage, so we're nearing that very closely right now. We're expecting the flood to crest at about 12.8, nearing 13 feet. So Lee's Landing, Pitch Landing, Savannah Bluff, Riverfront South, Riverside Drive, and Conway, Business 501 and Highway 905 and 90 also going to see some of that flooding as well. So please watch out if you are going to be into that area. Another river that we are going to be watching is Black Creek in Quinby. This is on the border of Florence and Darlington County. I know we had a reporter out there earlier. Right now, sitting at 14 feet, so already above flood stage, and 17.5 feet is where we're expecting it to get on Wednesday. So definitely a few more feet riding. This is going to be a record flood level expected. The last flood level that we did have record-wise was 16 feet. So East Black Creek Road, Creekside Drive, Crooked Creek Drive are flooded right around Quinby. We are going to expect that to get even worse as we continue into the beginning and middle of the week. Another one, the Lynches River in Effingham, 8.7 feet currently sitting at. Flood stage is at 14, and we're expecting that to crest at 16.5 feet. What we can expect that is Roundtree Road, North Old Georgetown, Effingham, New Hope, and Bengaus Road, all likely to be covered with some water as we get into the middle of the week. So please remember, as we get there, don't drive through any flooded waters. Please, it's going to be very dangerous throughout the middle of the week, even when the sunshine returns.
Black Creek, one of those that Andy mentioned there in Florence County, is prone to flooding and impacting the area the most when heavy rain like this comes. WMBF News reporter Audrey Bisk is live at the entrance of Black Creek Road. Audrey, how's it looking out there?
That's right. I'm here standing on the road. As you can see, it is completely flooded behind me. This road actually reaches 2 miles down, and it is totally flooded before you even hit the creek. I spoke to a resident earlier today who has lived here for more than 30 years. He has been keeping an eye on water levels just to protect his home. And since noon today, it has reached more than 10 inches total. Now, folks back there are even stuck in their homes and needing to use boats to reach the other side of the road. One man tells me that he's going back and forth in his boat to make sure the homes stay safe.
When the flood comes up, people think everything's free back there. So I'm watching the neighborhood for everybody. So don't worry about it. You come down here to steal our stuff, we got you.
Now, police were here earlier today just to make sure everyone is cleared out of the area. For everyone's safety, due to the road closure and the deep flooded waters behind me, they are advised to absolutely not drive through the road. Reporting live at Black Creek, Audrey Bisk, WMBF News.
And the water is receding for some areas, but the pain is just beginning for folks as they start to clean up. Many of them keeping their fingers crossed, hoping it doesn't get any worse. Katrina Helmer is live in Little River. Katrina, you've seen significant damage out and about there today, right?
Well, depending on you go, some homes and businesses, they're completely dry, but that was not the case here in the Sandridge neighborhood, and that's because last night, once this drainage ditch completely filled up with water, the water then rushed across the road and then started slamming into this house in massive waves. And as we get closer to the home, you can actually see where the dirt around the front of the home completely eroded, exposing the foundation of the home. And homeowners throughout this neighborhood are now saying they are fully aware that as more rain is on the way, that means any one of their homes could be next. As the water tries to drain out, homeowners are trying to dry out. This is the uncomfortable reality for many in Horry County. Homes completely flooded, furniture destroyed, everything needing to be replaced. In this home, even the walls are starting to buckle as they're saturated with water.
It was pretty bad. The water was bad then, but I've never seen anything like this.
Tony Andrew is breathing a sigh of relief. His home was spared from any damage.
We're all going to hang in and see what happens. I got a feeling we're going to lose more of this yard, but you know, good for me, it's on this side, not that.
But that could quickly change with round 2 of this rain system on the way. The ground is sopping wet, so as yards are caving in, it's a major concern that the same thing can happen to any roads. Floodwaters washed away the dirt foundation under Highway 90 at Sandridge Road. SCDOT crews brought in truckloads of more dirt to fill the gaping hole and reinforce the road. Just one of many dangers crews are trying to stay ahead of as we anticipate more rain. Now, as that second system does roll in, SCDOT is anticipating that is a real possibility that on and off ramps or more roads that have a dirt foundation, some chunks of earth underneath could start caving out. So if you see that, first of all, or a sinkhole even, don't cross it. Do not drive across it. You need to stop, call your local authorities. They'll get in touch with SCDOT to find out if they need to completely block the road or if they can fill it in and reinforce it with some more dirt. Reporting live in Little River, Katrina Helmer for WMBF News.
Also in Little River, the rains and flooding are causing sewage overflow. The Little River Water and Sewage Company released a statement earlier today. The company is marking areas with keep out signs near a manhole where a sanitary sewer overflow has happened or is ongoing. So be on the lookout for those signs, and you're encouraged to stay away from those areas. And while driving around today and tomorrow, be wary of road closures in our area. There are many of them. Here's a map we have posted on our website. South Carolina Highway Patrol closed the roads that have been marked with a red dot on that map. You can head to our website, WMBFnews.com, for that full detailed list of roads affected by the rain this weekend. An emergency shelter in Georgetown County has opened. It's located at 2030 Church Street. That's the J.B. Buck Education Center. An entire apartment complex was evacuated in the city of Georgetown due to flooding there. So anyone displaced due to that can go to a shelter. We also are told that Risen Christ Church in Myrtle Beach has been opened as a shelter as well. And the South Carolina Emergency Management Division has released a toll-free telephone line for any questions that you may have about severe weather. That number is listed right there on your screen. It's operating 24 hours a day while these hazardous conditions continue. If you have a life-threatening emergency, though, you are asked to call 911. And in Pawleys Island today, the police department reopened roads that lead into that area, but for a while, the roads were closed due to that flooding. And some people saw the bright side of those flooded streets. Take a look at this. The police department tweeted out this photo. Some kids in the streets on inner tubes there. Now, that is one way to look on the bright side of this flooding. But authorities are warning and asking you to stay out of that water because there is bacteria that could possibly be there and also hazards hidden underneath.
All right, and we've seen a lot of rain so far, and we could possibly double that amount in the next 24 hours. Stick with us. I'll have all the details on what we've seen so far, and Robert will be back on how much more we can expect, and that's all coming up just after the break.
Hairstyling for WMBF News anchors provided by Dolce Lusso Salon and Day Spa.
It's SNL Premiere Saturday, a full night, starting at 8/7 Central. Here's how it works. First, go behind the scenes of 40 years with the SNL movie live from New York.
It really broke the mold in television. That's why you still hear everyone talking about that first cast.
Then it's a classic SNL, and later,
oh my God,
it's the SNL season premiere with host and musical guest Miley Cyrus.
With or without clothes? We're not sure yet.
With clothes.
We'll see.
It's SNL Premiere Saturday, tonight on NBC.
Introducing Longhorn's Great American Steak Dinner for $12.99. Perfectly seasoned sirloin with your choice of side, plus an appetizer. Or a dessert. Only at Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
With over 50 years of experience, the property services team at Elliott Beach Rentals are experts when it comes to caring for your vacation rental. From our highly trained and meticulous housekeeping staff who specializes in quality and detailed cleaning, to our extremely skilled maintenance department working diligently with licensed and bonded vendors to ensure quality and prompt service.
Quality control over property cleanliness and maintenance is just another way we excel.
Elliott Beach Rentals, the name you know, the people you trust.
Attention homeowners, at ARS Rescue Rooter, we want to keep you comfortable, keep you safe, and save you money when it comes to your heating system. Schedule your annual heating system check now at a super low price of only $59. That's right, only $59. Don't wait until cold weather hits. Schedule your system check now and save. Call ARS Rescue Rooter now or visit arsmyrtlebeach.com.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter.
Whew, that was close. Come on!
Uh-oh, better get Mako. For a limited time, take advantage of Mako's $149 bumper special. Mako, America's body shop.
Sure, stupid things happen to smartphones. So if you need yours back in working condition quickly, bring it to Fast Fix. Our trained technicians will get it looking and working just like new. Whether it's a broken screen, LCD, charge port replacement, or even water damage. And in most cases, we can repair it while you shop. So don't go one more day without your smartphone looking and working just like new again. Fast Fix Jewelry and Watch Repairs. Expert repairs while you shop. The Coastal Grand Mall.
Good morning, everybody, or good evening, everybody. Sorry about that. And you know, we have seen a lot of rain over the last 24 to 48 hours. You've seen the pictures of that, of all the flooding that we have seen. Now, averaging in Horry County, we've seen an average pretty much about 3.5 inches. Now, I pointed out North Myrtle Beach because some areas received 9 inches. I know Longs received upwards of 15 inches of rain over the last 24 to 48 hours. Immense flooding has happened out in that area. We've been sending out the pictures and tweeting those out as well. But the general area has been seeing about 3.5 inches of rain in Horry County. As you head down to Georgetown County, we've been averaging about 4.5 inches of rain. So still, pretty much anywhere you go, a lot of rain. Over into Williamsburg County, still, again, we've seen a lot of rain in that area, upwards of 6 inches. Averaging King Street got over 7 inches of rain over the last 48 hours. And even as you head into Florence, much of the same, about averaging a 5-inch range. And even into Darlington County, we've seen that. Now, the border belt has seen a little bit less, but it still has been averaging about 3 inches of rain. And Robert's going to be back in just a few minutes, and he's going to let you know how much rain that we're actually going to be expecting as we continue through the end of the weekend and even by starting next week.
In Charleston, the city was hit pretty steadily from all that rain that has fallen overnight and into this morning. The Charleston County Emergency Management Team announced that the county's readiness level was upgraded to OPCON 1 just a few hours ago. OPCON 1 refers to the county's operating condition. That means a disaster or emergency situation is in effect and poses a significant threat to the area. Charleston County currently has 2 shelters open. The National Weather Service says the latest tide level was more than 8 feet. The highest since Hurricane Hugo hit in September of 1989. And entire neighborhoods are being affected by this flooding, homes surrounded by water. Coming up, another look at how areas across the Carolinas are being affected.
And unfortunately, we're not done with our flooding. In fact, flash flood warnings in place as heavy rain falling again in Darlington County and another round of very heavy rain as we head towards Sunday. I'll break down the chances, have a look at future radar. Coming up after the break.
Ready?
Oil change, then tire place, then brake shop.
See you next week.
Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. At Meineke, we do it all. Come in now for our $14.95 oil change or get a full refund when using your Meineke credit card. Meineke, on with life.
Fighting insurance companies is hard work. I need someone to fight for me. I need Akeem.
I'm attorney Akeem Anastapulo. If you've been injured in an accident, call me now. We got over $400,000 settlement for a client hit head-on by a driver who fell asleep.
Don't scream. Call Akeem.
Call me now so that I can help you get all the money you deserve.
Call 1-800-313-AKEEM. What's that number? 1-800-313-AKEEM.
How much can you save? Find out at the Belk Customer Appreciation Sale. Don't miss great deals on your favorite brands. Plus, save an extra 20% off with limited exclusions. Thursday only, save an extra 25%. Earn extra points with your Belk Rewards card. In-store or online, the more you shop, the more you save. How much can you save? Find out at the Belk Customer Appreciation Sale. Modern, Southern style. Belk.
Hey, what are you snacking on?
Granola bar.
How is it?
It's okay, I guess.
Yeah. You know what's not okay? You're snacking like you're 8 years old. It's time to snack like a grown-up.
Is this a cheddar bow?
Yes. Mother of all snacks. 2 thick slices of cheddar cheese melted on a made-from-scratch Bojangles biscuit. Yeah. Now let's talk about that backpack.
Come try the cheddar bow. Bojangles, it's cheddar bow time.
That means flooding for our streets, but also river flooding. Now, what is this?
Tune into WMBF News or download the First Alert Weather app right now for free to keep yourself up to date with flood threats through the weekend.
Download the First Alert Weather app to track possible flooding.
Now, WMBF News First Alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst.
Well, we've seen some heavier downpours today, but we're getting a break from the steady, heavy rain, although I don't think that's going to last very much longer. Now, most of the rain today has been just a little bit to the south. Flooding rains right now in Charleston. You notice it extends way down to the south into the Bahamas. A lot of that moisture continuing to pump in. And instead of being directed towards Charleston, it looks like this is going to start to pull back to the north starting tomorrow morning and throughout the day on Sunday. That is going to be that second round that we've been mentioning of heavy rain moving in. Now, you notice the red boxes here. Those are actually flash flood warnings. Not actually seeing a whole lot of rain right now, but the problem is the ground is so saturated. Anytime we get one of these downpours in, it's quickly going to just run off and likely cause some ponding on the roadways and some minor flooding issues already starting to begin. I don't think we'll see the big problems, though, until tomorrow when the heavier rain starts to move back in. So once we got towards Florence, look like they just kind of re-upped this warning right now. But you notice Florence okay. You go up toward the north, though, starting to see some of those heavier downpours into Darlington County. Keep in mind Black Creek already forecast to go to record levels. This rain certainly not going to help that along. And as we go out towards portions of Marion and Dillon County, again, seeing some of these downpours, not overly widespread, but it is so saturated out here. This heavy rain right here just going to cause more issues as you're headed out tonight. So certainly as the sun begins to set, downpours around, you're going to want to take it a little careful out tonight. But you notice the rain risk likely going to increase as we head throughout Sunday. Still forecasting 4 to 8 inches additional rain. That's not counting what we've already seen. It looks like, especially down towards Williamsburg and Georgetown County, getting a little bit closer to 8 inches, maybe a little higher than that. Up towards the border belt, 2 inches or so. So I don't think the flooding is going to be that bad in the border belt. But Horry County, Florence County, Darlington County, Williamsburg, Georgetown, even Marion, we're going to see some issues as we head towards tomorrow. Not just the flood-prone areas either. We saw that the other day up towards North Myrtle Beach. Those areas Don't see that flooding this much, but when you get that much rain in a short amount of time, it certainly becomes an issue. So again, you notice the rainfall totals quickly increasing the farther south you go. Even from Bennettsville, I don't think these northern areas are going to see a big issue tomorrow. Most of the guidance now showing the heavier rain farther and farther to the south. But again, across Horry County, Myrtle Beach, Little River, North Myrtle Beach, the areas that saw the heavy rain, 4 to possibly even 8 inches. And again, it's all going to depend on how those rain bands set up. I know that the rain is certainly going to be around. And you notice the timing here. Future radar, pretty quiet for tonight. Here we'll see some occasional showers and storms, but as we progress through tomorrow morning, watch what happens. The heavier rain starts to move in by sunrise into Georgetown, and then likely getting across the rest of the area as we head towards noon. And once it arrives, it's going to sit around and pumping in a whole lot of tropical moisture. So these are very efficient storms, and that means they can drop a whole lot of rain. Another issue, while the wind gusts aren't overly high with the saturated grounds, you get gusts upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour. We're going to have to watch possibly some trees getting down tomorrow. That's going to be a big issue, especially in the areas that have seen the very heavy rain. So again, another very soggy period. Now we will see some improvements eventually. I expect some rain to continue into early Monday morning, but likely getting better by Monday afternoon. The good news is the rest of the week, once we get past tomorrow and once we get past Monday, plenty of sunny weather and finally seeing a drying trend as we go through the remainder of the week.
And as this weather story continues to develop, we want to share some viewer videos with you. Take a look at this first one here just into our newsroom. From Sarah Daisy out of Garden City, residents there are getting a chance to get a little bit creative with how they're getting around those flooded waterways. There you can see there is a kayak here. They're using that to get down the street there in Garden City. And this one from Tyler Oshiek in Long Bay Estates. Check out this footage here. This is the beach in that area. The waves coming all the way up on shore, crashing right into the dunes there. We're seeing this along much of our beaches. Along with those high rip current risks, you can see just how choppy that water is. Very dangerous conditions if you head out there. And we want to use any pictures and videos that you guys can send to us. You are our eyes and our ears as you're out there. Send your pictures or videos to us. There's a few different ways you can do it. On Facebook, you can send them to us through the First Alert weather page, or you can hashtag our images on Twitter using the hashtag WMBFlood, or you can email them straight to us at pics@WMBFnews.com. Now, I want to give you a look at what we're seeing around this area here. This is aerial footage of Brunswick Plantation just across the state line there in North Carolina. A neighborhood has been flooded, homes surrounded by water right up to their doorsteps there. And they're also calling for a voluntary evacuation of unincorporated areas of that county. So it's not just here in South Carolina, but across the region that we are seeing these heavy rains leading to flooded areas. Well, Coastal Carolina was able to beat the rain and get its game in today. Coming up next in sports, take a look at how CCU was able to stay perfect this year.
Our radio partner, Cat Country 99.3, the PD's best at most country.
CarCityCentral.com makes credit approval easy. Simply go online to CarCityCentral.com. There you can shop our entire inventory and fill out our quick credit approval form. With just $99 down, we will help you get a nicer, newer car. Visit CarCityCentral.com.
You think we should tell him about the air compressor?
Nah, he's almost done.
With up to $7,500 off new homes, this is one ginormous sale. Clayton Homes Go Big and Go Home sale going on now. Hurry into your local Clayton retailer today and save.
I'm a committed conservative that believes in getting results.
We made Florida #1 in job creation. 1.3 million new jobs, 4.4% growth, higher family income, 8 balanced budgets, and tax cuts 8 years in a row that saved our people and businesses $19 billion. I also used my veto power to protect our taxpayers from needless spending. And if I'm elected president, I'll show Congress how that's done. I will campaign as I would serve, keeping my word. I will run with heart, and I will run to win.
JED, proven conservative, real results. Right to Rise USA is responsible for the content of this message.
CarCityCentral.com makes credit approval easy. Simply go online to CarCityCentral.com. There you can shop our entire inventory and fill out our quick credit approval form. With just $99 down, we will help you get a nicer, newer car. Visit CarCityCentral.com.
Coastal Carolina football has never lost a homecoming game under Joe Moglia, so the Chants aim to make it 4 straight this afternoon. A bit of an earlier start time as well to avoid that rain entering the area. And CCU also looking for a program win 100, taking on Alabama A&M. It was a whiteout for the Chants. First play of the game from scrimmage. Alex Ross over to D'Angelo Henderson. Oh, he picks up 30 yards after that because he's Mr. Automatic. And a few plays later, he is going to wrap up the drive with a 1-yard touchdown. Sets a Big South record for 19 straight games with a touchdown. 2-point conversion no good, so 6-0 Coastal at that point. Still in the first, Bulldogs clamp down on defense with the Chants near midfield. Alex Ross throws into triple coverage, so he's picked off. And then Alabama A&M takes over right here. 1st and 10, D'Angelo Ballard, beautiful over-the-shoulder grab for a 29-yard gain. However, as the Bulldogs try to make more happen, not so much. Kelvin DeVoe, great concentration, beautiful interception, just gets the foot in bounds. Second play of the second quarter. It's only 6-0. Ross hits Henderson, who does everything else, tiptoes his way into the end zone. Coastal scores 32 in the second quarter and then shuts out Alabama A&M. Your final score in this one, 55-0. Meanwhile, South Carolina tried to push what is now the Lorenzo Nunez era in the right direction. The freshman got the start again today against Missouri, which started Drew Lock, making it the first SEC matchup ever between true freshman quarterbacks. So Nunez looking for a boost and looking for a win in that first ever matchup. But it's Missouri's freshman Drew Lock who is looking good in the early going here as he's in the red zone, off his back foot, fires and hits Nate Brown for the first points of the game, 7-0 Tigers. Second quarter, though, Nunez feeling the heat. He tries to throw this one away. It's the tip drill, though, and it's Lake City's own Sean Carson. Right place, right time, and the touchdown. He has come up big for the Gamecocks this year, and he's a PD product. But Locke would focus in again on Brown. That makes it 17-10, and Missouri goes on to get the 24-10 victory. By the way, yesterday marked the first day of the college basketball season, for the teams at least, as the NCAA opened up practice, and that included Coastal Carolina. Important thing to note, though, 4 players were involved in a car accident 2 days ago. None are seriously injured, but 3 suffered concussions, while 1 has a leg contusion. Those players are Jalen Shaw, Siobhan Wiggins, Ron Trapps, and Marcus Freeman. All are expected, though, to make full recoveries. We've had a little bit of extra point Thursday and Friday, much more coming Monday with all these games that you see here, and we actually have 6 games that we're going to try and bring you the highlights for, and hopefully the weather conditions will be okay then. We also need to mention, of course, Clemson takes on Notre Dame at 8 o'clock tonight.
Probably right here on WMBF.
Exactly. Well, it's probably going to be a little bit of a mud bowl there, too.
Gotcha. So we're still trying to get some games in on Monday for high school.
It's going to be great.
And this is like the 3rd week that we've had to go a different day than Friday night.
Yeah, weather's really affected a lot, but what can you do?
Yeah. All right, thanks so much. Stay with us and look at your forecast after the break.
Closed captioning of WMBF News is sponsored by Joy Law Firm. Just call Joy.
You're gonna get guaranteed low prices, IGA.
Family Pack Center Cut Loin Pork Chops, $2.29 per pound. Value Time Sugar, 4-pound bag, 2 for $4. Green Giant Canned Vegetables, select varieties, 10 for $7. Lay's Potato Chips, select varieties, buy 1, get 1 free. And 10-pound bag Western Russet Potatoes, $3.49.
Guaranteed low prices, IGA.
At batteriesplus.com, you can easily order LED light bulbs for lamps, can lights, specialty bulbs for appliances, plus batteries for motorcycles, cars, smartphones, watches, car remotes, you name it. We carry thousands of batteries and bulbs in our stores, so just choose Pickup in Store, and we'll have your order ready when you drop in. We also repair smartphones. Batteries Plus Bulbs. Trust the plus.
Our radio partner, Star 93.7, Florence's station for hit music.
You know, the big concern as we head through really early tomorrow morning and through early Monday morning, another round of very heavy rain. Now, we're talking an additional 4 to 8 inches of rain. That's on top of what we've already seen. Now, the highest amounts likely to be closer to Georgetown and Williamsburg County. The lowest amounts to the border belt, where it may only see an inch or two. But keep in mind, even a couple inches of rain on top of what we've already seen, that is going to cause some issues. All the ground is saturated now, and that means any rain we get is going to cause problems. And then down the road, as Andy mentioned, we're going to see some river flooding issues likely for early next week.
And the entire state of South Carolina right now has been upgraded to OPCON 1, meaning that a 24-hour schedule is ongoing for those emergency situations. We'll be back here at 11.
On the Saturday night, flood emergency. A massive and deadly storm pounds the East Coast, up to 16 inches of rain predicted in some parts. Tonight, more than 20 million people under flood watches and warnings. Desperate search for a cargo ship with 28 Americans on board 2 days after it vanished in the fury of Hurricane Joaquin. Deadly bombing at a hospital in Afghanistan run by Doctors Without Borders, hit by an American airstrike aimed at Taliban militants. And campus massacre. New details from Oregon about the shooters' movements that fateful day, survivor stories, and why Congress can't ever seem to agree on how to keep guns out of the wrong hands. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News. Reporting tonight, Craig Melvin.
And a good Saturday evening. We are following two major developing stories tonight. In a few moments, Thomas Roberts will have the latest on Thursday's shooting massacre at a community college in Oregon. But first, historic flooding. Many parts of Charleston are underwater tonight. Some roads look more like small rivers. More than 20 million people along the eastern seaboard are under a flood watch or flood warning. Some communities are expecting some epic amounts of rain, 16 inches in some places. This afternoon, President Obama declared a state of emergency in South Carolina. Forecasters say some there could experience